Alright, I just shot one unboxing video and realized, you know, it's pretty long-winded. So anyway, this all came from Automation Direct. Awesome shipping time. 2-day FedEx. So I ordered this Tuesday, I think. And this is Friday and it's already here. Anyway, this is a 3-phase. I don't know if you can see it from that angle or not. This is a 1-horse 1725 RPM 3-phase motor. Okay. That way we can do the variable speed and that stuff. So the motor comes with a removable frame mount and the 56C face. So and then it also comes with this little bag of plugs that go in the holes there if you decide to take the frame mount off. But I'm going to mount them both up because then that way the motor actually acts as a gusset on the thing. This is the I got dirty hands here, and I couldn't quite get that off. But anyway, part of the reason why I bought this one, it's a little more expensive. I could have saved about 40 bucks and got somebody else's. But this is 110 volts in, 3-phase out, so it'll provide the variable speed. Now, some of the cheaper ones, they didn't have the knob right on the front here. Okay, you just have to sit there and push the buttons up and down, which means you couldn't vary your speed quite as easily. This one has braking options if you want to get the braking resistors, stuff like that. The faceplate is, you can remote mount it. And I was looking around here, the cable didn't come with it, so I'm going to have to go double check the order and find out where the heck the cable is. Maybe I just forgot to order it. Well, this is the first time for me doing this. I've worked with some VFDs and stuff like that before, but this will be the first time I'm working with it. This is for the bench grinder mod. I already took a video of showing it. Anyway, I got the stuff laid out here. Here's a quick reference for setting this particular one up. You'll have to be responsible for double checking everything and getting it right and stuff like that. I'm just going to record how I'm doing it, and you know, hopefully I won't have too many mistakes to edit out. So anyway, in the other video I tried squeezing these and I couldn't get them out. It does pull out, okay, and then you have I want to say they're 4mm screws maybe go in there. Anyway, the part of the trick was I actually had to take a little flat blade screwdriver and put it in there to get enough leverage to get that snapped off. My fingers just weren't quite strong enough. So anyway, I'm going to pull that out and just set it over on the box for now, because if I have to set it down on the face or it flips around, I don't want to mess that up or break it or anything. So alright, let's see, let's let it focus in here for a minute. This should come with it too, but anyway, right here it says L1 and L2 for the 110 volt single phase, okay, and then we don't care about the 220, and then T1, 2, 3 go out to the motor. Pretty straightforward. So what I did was I just went to Home Depot. This was 10 bucks. It's 14 gauge, so how to handle 15 amps. You're on your own for verifying all this stuff. So this is what I'm going to use for today. If I find out it's needs to be different, then you know, I'll upgrade it and use something different. But the reason I got this is because nice molded cord and everything like that, and it's 14, how long is it? 9 feet, okay? So I figure I can cut off the 2 or 3 feet I need to go between the motor and the controller, and then that leaves me, you know, another good 6 feet to work on the others. So, you know, not a bad little extension cord anyway with the 3 things there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off a little short. I can always put a plug on this end then and take a single corded extension cord, single plug extension cord, and plug that in and have 3. So anytime you're stripping wire, you want to be careful with you don't want to cut through and cut all the way into where you're circumventing the insulation. Okay, so you can actually just bend it like this and then take your knife and just you don't even have to necessarily pull, and this knife isn't very this knife isn't very sharp at all, but see it pull it apart and separate, and then and I put a little nick in that one there. Try to be a bit more careful than that. Okay, so there's the nick I put in it. This is the very first one I cut, and that's unacceptable. Not good. There's basically no insulation there. So let's just cut it off, start again. So I'm just putting a light score around, not trying to cut through anything like that, but then you can see what it does. It kind of opens up, and then you can come in here and just rock back and forth enough to get it to cut. Sheesh, and I might have cut the black one again. Alright, well I nicked the black one that time, so this is the 3-footer, so hopefully I don't have to go buy another cord. Yeah. So, let's try it again. And part of what it is you see how it gets thicker and thinner? So I keep cutting through on the thin spot, trying to get the thick spot to cut all the way through. Oh, I'm twisting it there to just get that last little bit to tear, so oh yay, no cuts or nicks through it. Sweet. Okay. Alright, let's play around with the wiring length, stuff like that. Okay, so single phase 110. Black is hot, that's line 1. White is neutral, green is ground. So line 1, so you know, this is made for single wires and that stuff, so I'm not quite sure how well I like this, but basically the white's gonna go down in here, and so I just want to get a guesstimate of how long to make it. So somewhere about that length. All right, and I need 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch past that to strip. So I'm going to cut it about there. And there's all kinds of different wire cutters you can use. You don't want to cut into the point where you actually start cutting strands of wires off. Now, since the black is going to go over to the side, green is going to go over there. We'll make black just a tiny hair longer, kind of at an angle there. We'll strip the same amount off. And if the wires aren't already twisted, they should be. You want to twist them because that gives them more, it's more substantial. That way the wires just don't all splay out when you try to tighten down the terminals. And if you notice, I'm having to pull so hard because I'm not cutting in so deep that it completely cuts the insulation. I'm tearing the insulation apart. So you can see down in there, they're Phillips. And actually, I guess almost any, even with the tip, that one's magnetic, so it's got all kinds of debris on it. So we're going to loosen this up. Oh, a little too far. Put it back in a couple threads there. Loosen that one up the same amount. It almost fell out, so thread or two. And back in a couple threads. Okay, so let's make sure that nothing's sticking out there. Let's get those out of the way, see if that'll help. Alright, this is getting to be a kind of a pain here. I'm using a magnetic tip, and I've taken it out all the way because it kept hanging up on the lip of the washer. So alright, that one's good and tight. Okay, so let's see if we can get the white one in. And I think I'm just going to do the same thing. It's nearly out anyway, so let's just do this. And that way I don't have to worry so much about fraying the wires and stuff like that. Trying to get them to shove down into the hole there. Much easier. I like that. And those are, they will take a regular slot too, but a flat blade screwdriver. So you could actually put your final torque on there if you really want with a flat blade. That way you don't have to worry about stripping out the Phillips or anything like that. But okay, there's that. That'll go over and connect to the motor. But since we're here, let's go ahead and do up the, oh, son of a gun. That's not the motor side. I guess I'll do this again. Okay, so that's the line. That's the end with the cord. Okay, now we'll work on hooking up the motor end. So this, see down in there, they actually come under here, T1, 2, and 3. The B1 and 2 is for a braking resistor, okay? I don't have that option. This will do it. I don't have the resistor. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift this, lift the little sticker up out of there so I can see that, and it worked so well having the screws out. These are exactly the same kind of terminals, so I'm just going to go ahead and take the screws all the way out. And the terminal strips with all the other connectors there, that isn't anything that's going to be needed for this kind of project. But the book explains all these and for reversing switches and all that kind of stuff. But since we're going to use the controls right on the front of the VFD, we shouldn't have to bother hooking up any of that kind of stuff. So these are already crunched a little bit because I installed them on the line side and then realized that wasn't where they went. So colors really don't matter. What's going to happen is if the VFD, when it fires up, it should put the motor in a counterclockwise as you're facing it, okay? So it's going to spin counterclockwise. If it doesn't do that, then I got to come back in here and reverse 2 of these wires, okay? So it really doesn't matter because this is 3-phase. It doesn't matter which one goes to what. So we'll just... Alright, that's it for the VFD. Alright, 2 clicks. Okay, so now we move over to the motor. Alright, so in this case, typically, you know, when we were looking at something the other day, low volt was 120. In this case, though, the motor does 208, 230, or 460. Okay? So in this case, the low voltage version is the 208 that we want. This wiring part, this is a 3-phase motor with 9 leads. This is the first for me. What a pain in the butt for the most part, but we'll see if we can figure it out here. And anyway, these are the whatever the hell you want to call wire nuts. And if you look down inside there, it says tells you what size they're for. So I don't know if it'll focus or not. Let's see here. 1 to 3 14 gauge, and we're working with 14 gauge. So these are actually, I believe, 16 gauge. Yep, 16 gauge. So some of them aren't stripped far enough, so I'll have to strip those a little further. I've got a different kind of stripper here. And this one won't cut anything, so you can actually, it's got a label here, 10 gauge, 12 gauge, 14, 16. So you should be able to go into that end one there and do that. But as you see, if you can see that from there, there's wire strands here. So I definitely don't want to use that one. So let's go to the, let's try the other one on 14. Where'd that go? Oh, there it is. Alright, no wires went with it. And I don't see any stubs there, so 14 it is. So let's do, okay. I'm trying to get the insulation ends all lined up roughly about the same here. I can always, you know, trim the wire if one's too long. I can always trim that at the end there. So you want to make sure they don't pop back off either. Get it to the black wire. Oh, let's take a little more off the black wire there. Having a little extra conductor hanging out just makes it that much easier to, you know, try to hold these together like this. Get those, get that all lined up, and then you can get a bit of twist on there, and then just cut off the excess there. Oh. Okay. Now the question is, will it run? Hey, so when I started moving it there, it dawned on me. It's like, oh, I want to hook up the ground. I'm going to assume it's needed. And the biggest reason, you know, if this was a single phase motor, you know, one of the wires would be ground, and I wouldn't worry about it so much. This is a 3-phase motor, so all 3 of these lines are going to be hot, and so it needs a 4th wire for ground. That would be my belief. So put that on there. Okay, let's strip the other end and then we'll attach it to the motor. These are the Harbor Freight crimpers here. I've actually been quite pleased with them for the 15 or 20 bucks instead of 40 or 50 for the being able to crimp them, and they are adjustable here so you can get the tension right. So alright, let me screw this to the motor and we'll go from there. This is with the VFD and the speed control. Now this is not an inverter duty motor, okay? This is just a generic sheet metal motor. They call it sheet metal because this housing on the outside here is sheet metal as opposed to the whole thing being cast iron for cooling and longevity, all that kind of crap. This motor was only 125 bucks from Automation Direct. It is a 1-horse 3-phase. I think I've mentioned most of this stuff before, but it ought to work pretty nice, so I'm getting ready to see how hard, you know, I can grind against it and stuff like that when it's up to speed and that stuff. But I need to, I think I'll move the box out of the way here a little bit maybe. Anyway, its motor mounts are different. I got done drilling the holes and stuff like that. I think we're going to do a couple other little changes stuff, but Anyway, one of the coolest things with VFD, variable frequency drive, this motor is designed to run at a straight 60 cycles, okay, and that's what determines the speed, the number of poles in here. So this is a 4-pole motor as opposed to a 2-pole. A 2-pole motor will run at 3,400 RPMs, 3,500, whatever it is. This is 1,725, 1,800 RPMs. And I think once I get the VFD figured out, I think I should be able to overclock that and make it actually run faster. So the coolest thing is with when you put the new belt on, when you put a belt on, you don't have to fire it up at full speed for tracking. It'll actually ramp up. You can actually keep it running a bit slower, check your tracking, and then put it up to the speed you want. And I should be able to go in and change that ramp time. It's finally reached 60 hertz, so you can see it takes a little while to get up there. When you hit stop, it takes a while to ramp down too. This thing has an option right here to hook up a braking resistor, and if you do that, then it'll have that more like power to stop. You know, you hit off, it'll go slow down real quick. I think I can program that ramp time down and make it stop faster too. All right, let's do the math real quick. We know it's 18.8 if the RPMs is at 1,000. Okay, that gives us, that's in inches, 18,000 inches. So then let's divide it by 12 to get the foot. And it's going to be running at 1,500 surface feet per minute. Okay. So since I have it, as long as we're here, since I can go up to 2,700 RPMs now, take that times the 18.8, which is how many inches one revolution of the drive wheel does, okay? That puts us up to 50,000 inches, divide that by 12 to find feet, and we can run this at 4,200 surface feet per minute. That's sweet. So anyway, let's hit start, and you can hear how much faster it ramps up. Okay, that's much nicer. Hit stop, boom, right back down. So if I want this max speed, we set it there. Let's hit start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean it got right up there. So I went in and changed the acceleration time and the decel time. I put the accel time to 1 second, the decel to 2. I figured, you know, it's not that important that it stops that quick. And past that, if I want it to stop much faster, it might need the braking resistor. I don't know. But anyway, let me hit run here. I've still got it set to the 2,700 max RPM, so. That starts up plenty fast and shuts down plenty fast, so I really like that. So, liking this more and more.